This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 3rd day of December in the year 2019. Here is what we're tracking tonight. Scores of sugar workers gathered at various locations across the country this morning in protest to demand an increase in their wages and salaries. A group led by the Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Union staged one of those protests outside the Ministry of the Presidency this morning. The union's president, Kumal Chan, said the protest is aimed at getting the president's attention to an issue that they have been raising for several months. He explained that the claim was submitted to the Guyana Sugar Corporation, and following that move, both Gawu and Gaisuco met to discuss the issues. According to Chan, Gaisuco has not been able to give a position as yet to whether the company will provide the increase, so he believes it's time that the president steps in.
He responded to say that he will send our petition to Gaisuco, and he will then forward to us a response. He hasn't done so. I followed.
When was the last time you spoke with Gaisuco?
2 weeks ago.
And up to then, they hadn't gotten anything?
No, up to then they haven't got anything. They haven't told us they are waiting on the president. Okay. But we are clear in our mind they are waiting from some communication from the government.
Mr. Chan said he believes the president ought to make a decision that would force the sugar company to offer the increases.
To go to a minister other than the president, we feel it will be an exercise in futility. You remember the position that Minister Holder is taking. When we went to him one time, he says, don't come to us, go to the Ministry of Finance. The Ministry of Finance said, look, Gaisuco is under the charge of the Minister of Agriculture.
Another representative of Gawu, Gordon Thomas, said workers are demanding the increase because they believe they deserve one. He said that all other categories of workers have received an increase except sugar workers, and they feel they're being discriminated against.
And on today, you close down 4 real estate, you have 3 operations, and you still can't get an increase until now. It's really ridiculous. And we are saying we are protesting and actually calling upon the president that he would come out and say, look, let the workers have an increase. But he just stay back and just, like he don't care nothing about the sugar workers. That's the way we are seeing it.
One sugar worker said he's standing up for an increase in wages and salaries because it has been 5 years since they received any increase, and they believe it's time they get one. The government has repeatedly stated that the responsibility lies with the Guyana Sugar Corporation and its board to decide on the wage increase, but the unions and other workers' representatives believe otherwise. In recent times, the sugar workers have heightened their call for a pay increase. Workers have participated in vigil and protest activities to bring attention to their plight. More news coming up in just a moment.
It's bigger, it's better, it's back! It's GTT's plus size Christmas promotion! Connect with your friends and loved ones with GTT services to benefit from our biggest ever Christmas bundle of specials and be one of our plus size winners. Visit our website or call 227-9444 for more information today.
Big bundles for you. Big bundles for you. Top up a grand, we make a winner out of you. We got a game show for you. Game show for you.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
Enter the GBTI Quick Cash Christmas Promotion and make it a Christmas to remember. You get up to $500,000 easy for anything you want this Christmas. Plus, enter for a chance to win fabulous items for your home. One complete 7-foot granite top base kitchen cabinet, 1 sectional suite, 1 5-piece dinette set, and complimentary baskets of goodies. Apply at your nearest branch or online at www.gbtibank.com. GBTI, we see Christmas through your eyes.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guyana's Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyana's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive!
Welcome back. The recently formed political party Change Guyana has taken the political opposition to task over its campaign promise to reopen the 3 closed sugar estates, saying such a promise is totally impossible. Presidential candidate for the party Robert Badal was firm in his position that the plan is just another one to fool the people. He spoke this morning at his weekly press conference.
From my business experience, that is impractical. And I would say, without any apology, they are trying to lie to the people again. You cannot close a sugar estate and after a year open that sugar estate. It's impossible.
The presidential candidate of the People's Progressive Party, Irfan Ali, has pledged to reopen the estates. The government believes Ali's claim is a ploy to get votes from those persons who live along the sugar belt. Badal appears to be agreeing to that position, and he said his party would have no interest in reopening the estates, since that would cost billions of dollars. He said Ali's promise is nothing more than a political gimmick.
Our alternative to those estates, as I mentioned there, to ensure that we return the existing estates to profitability through reorganization, through diversification. They had a long time since the 70s to have cogeneration in all sugar estates. Albion could produce alone 20 megawatt and the demand in East Berbice is 18 megawatt. You can power East Berbice by cogeneration in Albion. But you know what's the crux of it? Is the leadership, the lack of business experience that we bring to the table.
The main opposition, PPP Civic, has dismissed criticism that its plans to reopen the sugar estates are unrealistic, while maintaining that the party has a sound plan to resuscitate the industry. Mr. Ali claims that under a PPP Civic government, they will ensure the estates closed by the current government are back up and running, effectively and efficiently and turning a profit. The opposition party had also closed a number of sugar estates during its time in government, and there were no efforts to ever reopen those. With the objective of encouraging more reading, the world's largest floating bookstore has sailed into Guyana. The Logos Hope ship was officially welcomed last evening at the simple ceremony. Director of the Logos Hope, Pil Hoon Park, stated that they are once again delighted to be in Guyana. He said as the world is changing, it is important for knowledge to be passed around, and there is no better way to do so than to share a book.
The vision of Logos Hope is to advance the well-being of people everywhere, and this is achieved in several ways. Sharing knowledge by making available many good books, and sharing help by assisting educational and social projects, and sharing hope by affirming right value and the worth of every human being before God.
The ship director also said that the mission is always the same as each territory they visit, and it is hoped that their visit to Guyana will reignite the interest in reading. Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu said he remains very impressed with the hope that Logos Hope brings to this country, especially when it comes to the sharing of knowledge. Mr. Nagamutu explained that the message of hope is needed in Guyana.
The religious and the ethical values that you help to share are of importance. Values are of importance to our country. We are a small country and we are a developing country. We have not overcome the challenges of the past, and our people still suffer the anxieties of living in a country of high values, high moral standards. And these are some of the challenges which we face, and which your message of hope, your message of goodness, your message of godliness can help us to promote in our country. For that reason, I also welcome you.
MV Logos is operated by a German Christian charity. The ship features a mobile bookstore with hundreds of thousands of books. It is docked at the GNSC Wharf and has already opened its doors to the public. It will be in Guyana until the 10th of December. Well, the mother of a student of the Tagore Memorial Secondary School who had her religious attire pulled off her head during a bullying incident at the school wants the issue of bullying in schools across Guyana to be properly addressed. The mother, Rosanna Mohammed, feels that the entire school system in this country should be revamped and policies put in place to act as checks and balances so that there could be early detection of violence and bullying in schools. She said there is a need to reduce the growing incidence of violence within the school system.
New ground rules need to be put into place and enforced. Consequences and penalties for students must be adhered to so that discipline can be restored in the school system.
Mohammed, who's also a teacher, said it is a sad reality that violence is an everyday thing and has now seeped into the school system. The mother of two said she wants to see the problem hammered out because it has no place in the education system. She also explained that while the police did a separate investigation into the incident and the file was sent to the Director of Public Prosecutions, she is yet to hear from that office.
These children need professional help and counseling. My daughter, who is a victim, is traumatized, and I'm pleading with the Ministry of Education to send their mobile psychosocial unit to counsel her and the other children. The police did an investigation and I was told that the file was sent to DPP. I am waiting to hear from that office as I strongly feel that my daughter was assaulted. I never wanted another child or another mother to experience what we went through. It was an awful experience.
With the advanced forms of bullying, the educators said the schools are incapable of dealing with the issues. With the elections coming up in March next year, the mother said she will be throwing her support behind the recently formed Change Guyana Party. The party is headed by businessman Robert Badal. Well, the number of fatal road accidents on the country's roadways should form part of a coroner's inquest. That's according to the Director General of the Ministry of the Presidency, Joe Harmon. In the past week alone, Guyana has seen at least 10 road deaths on the country's roadways as the number of fatal vehicular accidents continue to climb. At his press conference last Friday, Mr. Harmon said all unnatural deaths ought to form part of a coroner's inquest, and he believes the road deaths should be probed.
Every life that we lose in this country is important to us. We are a very small population, and therefore every single life which is lost by unnatural means will require an inquest. In fact, the laws of Guyana require that there be a coroner's inquest into the death of any person by unnatural means. And so the death of persons on our roads is a source of major concern to us as a government.
Mr. Harmon said the cabinet has taken note of the increase in road accidents and the number of deaths on the country's roadways, and moves are being made to address the issue.
And for the lives to be snuffed out in that way, it's really a painful thing. So as a government, we share that pain, and we will do whatever is necessary to ensure that our roads are safe, that our citizens who use these roads, that they feel safe on these roads, that when you use public transportation, and that is the hire cars, the minibuses and the big buses, that there are certain standards which are enforced. And this is why I emphasized earlier that the President, in his address to the Road Safety Council, emphasized the importance of the enforcement of these laws.
The Guyana Police Force has launched a nationwide campaign to curb the lawlessness on Guyana's roadways, but the police force is also calling on all road users to be much more responsible. Turning now to the courts, after being behind bars for the past 3 years on a charge of murder, 26-year-old Jamal Ford walked out of the High Court a free man today. The South Ranville resident was freed following a no-case submission put forward by his attorneys Ronald Burt Smith and Keoma Griffith. He was on trial before a 12-member jury for the murder of 24-year-old Sean Annis of Sophia, who was gunned down during a robbery back in 2015. After the state closed its case, the defense attorneys submitted that there was no case to answer to. Additionally, they argued that the evidence presented did not show how Ford was picked out and placed on an ID parade 1 year after the incident. The police force's main witness in the case could not identify Ford and changed his story during the trial. Justice Sandel Kisun agreed with the submissions of the defense attorneys and directed the jury to formally return a verdict of not guilty. According to reports, the victim operated a grocery shop in front of his Sophia home. On the day in question, he was ambushed at his home by 2 armed men who demanded money and his valuables. He was shot dead during the course of the robbery. Ford was arrested in 2016. Another man, Odell Roberts, was charged with the same crime and is currently awaiting trial. Let's tell you now that 38-year-old Diamond resident Michael Haynes was today remanded to jail after he was charged for drug trafficking. The man was allegedly nabbed with over 97 pounds of marijuana. Haynes appeared before Magistrate Shirtle Isaacs Marcus and pleaded not guilty to possession of marijuana for the purpose of trafficking. According to police reports, on the 29th of November at Diamond Housing Scheme, he had over 44 kilograms of marijuana in his possession for the purpose of trafficking. He was busted during an operation by the police in the area. The police claimed that he initially admitted to the ownership of the drugs. The police prosecutor objected to bail, and the magistrate agreed that bail not be granted. The accused will return to court later this month for the continuation of the matter. Samuel Suknandan is up next with Across the Region.
Flavor, food, fun. Guyana, it's back. UNCAP 2019 continues. Join us at the Guyana National Stadium at Providence for the Agro-Processors Exhibition and Food Festival. Enjoy local products that have been made, mixed and blended to perfection. It's all happening on Sunday, December 8th from 10 a.m. Enter the Savor the Flavor competition for a chance to win exciting hampers with fantastic local foods, personal care items, and so much more. Don't you miss it.
There once was a man named Stan whose business needed a new plan. Christmas was coming, this much was true. He needed some help but didn't know what to do. Then fast as a flash, 3 helpers did come from Republic Bank. They came with some. One had low interest rates, one reduced equity, one with approval so quick and easy. Now Stan is the man and his business is booming. Christmas is good and he is winning. Reach more customers and boost your business with a Republic Small Business Loan today.
At the most critical life-changing moments, the National Insurance Scheme is here to ensure that your needs are covered. Access reimbursement for medical expenses for various aspects of your medical care. We know that eye care is of utmost importance. Receive assistance with our Spectacle Care voucher. Visiting the dentist? Dental care is also covered under our sickness benefit services. Offset the funeral expenses of a loved one with costs covered by our funeral benefits. National Insurance Scheme. We're there every step of the way.
They've made a positive impact on the heavy-duty transportation industry in Guyana since they've arrived. Guyanese are amazed at their power, durability, efficiency, and superior handling capabilities. These are brand new trucks, manufactured in partnership with German, Italian, and French companies. They have a powerful reputation for operating under very adverse Guyanese conditions and come with full after-sales service and spare parts. They're the most sought-after trucks today, with over 500 units in Guyana, and they're available in over 100 countries, including South America and the Caribbean. Be smart. Buy brand new ST Hoho Trucks today. Call 608-4998 and arrange for an inspection at ST Truck Guyana Incorporated, Block B, Public Road, Covenant, East Bank, Demerara.
Taking you across the region right now, I'm Samuel Suknandan. The police in Dominica reportedly fired live ammunition and tear gas in the community of Marigot in Dominica on the second day of protests for electoral reform on that island. On Monday, residents in the area blocked the road, stranding scores of people traveling to the airport. However, today police were firing tear gas and bullets in a bid to keep the area under control. Videos and photos circulating on social media show tear gas canisters and bullet casings, which protesters said were fired by the police. Dominica is in the grip of political tension as general election, slated for Friday, December 6, draws near. And now for a look at what's happening in Latin America. 7 men found guilty over the killing of an environmental activist, Berta Carreras, in Honduras in 2016 have been sentenced to lengthy jail terms. Carreras was shot dead by gunmen in her home. She had received death threats after successfully pressuring the builders of a hydroelectric dam to halt their project. The dam would have flooded large areas of land inhabited by the indigenous Lenca people. 4 men who were identified as the hitmen hired to shoot the dead woman were sentenced to 34 years in prison each. They were also sentenced to another 16 years and 4 months for the attempted murder of a Mexican environmentalist, Gustavo Castro, who was with Ms. Carreras at the time of the attack but survived. And finally, international news. Democrats on Tuesday accused U.S. President Donald Trump of abusing power to win re-election in 2020, saying in a report that will form the basis of any formal impeachment charges that he solicited foreign interference, undermined national security, and ordered an unprecedented campaign to obstruct Congress. The Democratic-led House Representatives Intelligence Committee, which was spearheaded the impeachment probe, said Trump had used U.S. military aid and the prospect of a White House visit to compel his Ukrainian counterpart to do his political bidding. The Democrats also accused Trump of an unprecedented effort to obstruct an impeachment inquiry that included categorical refusals to provide documents and testimony from his top advisors and successful attempts to block career government officials from testifying and the intimidation of witnesses. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. Have a good night.